Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Elijah, coming back for another update, vlog, whatever you want to call it. I'm just here to speak on my thoughts. So this week, yesterday was the 4th of July, and this week it was pretty emotional for me, and not because I was sad or anything, but because I was happy. I was emotional because the artistry that I had watched this past week got to me so much, and it made me grateful for all the artists out there that dedicate their time, that sacrifice their social lives for the most part to dedicate themselves to the art that they really want to dive into. See, my first trip on this magical week of art for me was, I had decided to give this movie a chance on Netflix. It is called Eurovision, and it is it is a movie about a song competition. But what happens in that movie is so much deeper, and at first I was skeptical because Will Ferrell, he had written it and he starred in it alongside Rachel McAdams. And to me, I'm not the biggest fan of Will Ferrell because I find many of his movies have kind of like that dumb humor, and I'm not really a fan of that. So I went on a whim and I decided to give that movie a shot, and I was 100% hooked. And it was just a beautiful message, and I love movies that have beautiful messages that pertain to their art that they want to go into. Like another movie, for instance, that I love is Whiplash. His father, in the movie may not see why he loves his, passion for jazz so much. And he does not understand why he sacrifices everything to try and get better and perform in the I forgot what band he wanted to go into, but it's like the big band, it's the pinnacle of the school. And that really like resonated with me, because at the end of the movie, when he's performing in the final competition, and the conductor, played by J.K.Simmons, I forgot his name in the movie, double crosses him. And the reason why I love that is because Miles Teller, his character in the movie, I have forgotten his name in the movie, and I'm so sorry, but Miles Teller, his character, could have simply ran off because he did not know the music, and that would have been the most logical thing to do. But no, what he did was he rose up to the challenge, and he gave the performance his all, and in the end the performance went into his favor, and his dad was, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but his dad was behind the door watching him. And there's this, sense of realization why his son has dedicated, countless hours to the drums, and why he was so passionate. And for that moment in the movie, that is my all-time favorite moment in that movie. Him realizing that this is like bigger than his son, and he wants to give it his all, and I love that part of the movie. But back to Eurovision, Will Ferrell's character, I forgot his name, Lars, yeah, his name is Lars. He has this dream alongside Rachel McAdams' character Sigrid to perform at Eurovision, and he has always wanted that dream to come to fruition since he was a little kid. And he would always be laughed at, made fun of, and no one would think that they would ever amount to anything. But Will Ferrell's character, he knew that one day they were going to make it big. And so this movie is, this journey of two people, Lars and Sigrid, on their way to the Eurovision competition. And to me, it is like really beautiful, because yes, there are funny moments at times, but in the entire picture of the movie, it is serious. They have a dream, and they want to chase that dream, and at the end they make it to the finals. And after their first the semifinals, their performance goes awry and everything, and then but Lars and Sigrid are like, let's just finish this performance. And so they do that, all bludgeoned and everything, bruised from the fall, and it's really beautiful. At the beginning, you hear some laughs, but when it's all said and done, everyone is clapping because they gave it their all. They did not let that little bump in the road stop them from performing. And at the end, Lars so he goes back to Iceland because he thinks they're not gonna win. But then everyone, all of the countries, give points to Iceland because of their courageous act to carry on. And that is really beautiful, because yes, their performance may not have been the best or flawless, but they just kept going, and that's very commendable. And I have been in that situation, and when I was at the conservatory last year, and we were it was the day of the performance. Now we were in we were in the final dress rehearsal, and I sit in my chair, and next thing you know, the light falls during rehearsal, so I put it back, and then when they tell us to go out for the performance, I sit down, and lo and behold, the light falls again. ultimately breaking. The clamp broke, and my music goes flying everywhere. And then, everyone's like, "Oh no, this is gonna be a disaster." And no, but I pushed through it, and so yeah, there's a little anecdote right there that I can relate. And then, I gave it my all, and everyone loved it, and I couldn't have been happier. But I'm kind of rambling right now. The topic is Eurovision, and yes, so they go back, and he's back in Iceland, and then he hears that him and Sigrid made it to the final. And then so Lars, he jumps out of a fishing boat, and after he decided to give up on all of his dreams, he decided to become a fisherman, and yada yada yada. He jumps off the fishing boat, and then he's on his way to the Eurovision competition. But along the way, there were some mishaps, and I highly recommend this movie. Just to say, but then not only does he make it to the competition to give the final performance, but he selflessly, what's that word I'm looking for? Basically, he decides to go with Sigrid's song, and if you change the song, you're disqualified. So, and Sigrid told him, and he was like, just sing. And to me, that was one of the most powerful moments in the movie. And so she sings this beautiful song, and while I am watching, tears are flowing down my face, and because it's just so beautiful, like what artists do, and just to give these lovely performances to us, the viewers. And it's beautiful how it all played out. And then July 3rd came around, and we all know what happened on Friday. Hamilton released on Disney Plus, and I've never been more excited to watch a movie than that, because I've always wanted to see Hamilton. I wanted to go see the the Broadway musical live, but they were always sold out, or the tickets were pricey, and so I'm thankful, along with many other people that are thankful, that Disney acquired Hamilton, and they put it on Disney Plus for all of us to enjoy. And I love the music. I was introduced to Hamilton in 2017. I knew what Hamilton was. I knew it was a musical, but I did not know the impact that it would have on me until I listened to the soundtrack. And being able to see, the production, the stage production, and all the emotion that went into that Hamill film. We'll call it the Hamill film. So it was just beautiful, and there were many moments in that musical where I teared up, but my biggest tear up was at the end when Hamilton finished, because I was just in awe, because these people dedicated themselves to something that is very much bigger than they are. And they did it so flawlessly. And I was just extremely grateful that I had the opportunity to see that. And at the end, I was crying, I was bawling my eyes out. My mom was right next to me, and she was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you just emotional?" I'm like, "It's just so beautiful," you know. I can barely talk when I'm that hysterical. And so, but really, I did think that the Hamill film was really beautiful, and I appreciated the art. And that's why I was so, feeling so emotional, so grateful at the end. And, I'm just so thankful. And then the final thing I want to talk about in this video is what I had actually wrote. What I had written something after that, pretty much what I was feeling. And and I forgot to mention, I also had the pleasure of watching Ray Chen's recital performance. And the thing to me that separates Ray Chen from other soloists is that he puts every single emotion into one of his bow strokes to make that note resonate in the building. And I had the pleasure of seeing Ray Chen sing him live twice, and each time you can tell he put so much emotion into his playing. And after all was said and done, it was magnificent because he put the correct emotion into his playing. I love when he plays Chaconne from J.S. Bach, and there are 3 movements. The first one he described as damnation. The second one, it was redemption. And the third one, I forgot how he described it. But when he first put the pressure on the strings, you can totally hear a damnation. And it was just the most beautiful thing ever. And I would just love to share what I had written over the weekend. Let's see. Okay, here. Let's see. Over the past couple of days, I had the privilege to fall in love with art all over again. Yesterday, I was able to watch Ray Chen's recital. Even during this pandemic, music has the power to heal and bring joy to everyone. Let's see. I was using a fountain pen at the time, so the ink isn't the best. Let's see. Let's see. You could see every emotion that he put into his playing. And, oh wow, what I write. And the entire recital depicts that. From the precise amount of pressure he put onto the bow strokes to every emotion is commendable. art has a funny way of bringing out emotions in us that we didn't even know we had. Just today, the musical Hamilton came out on Disney Plus. I have been eager to see the musical. I have listened to the soundtrack before, but to see firsthand was truly something else. Sorry, it's I don't know. And let's see. I admit I had tears. I had tears many times throughout the musical. The music, let's see. I don't know what that is. Sorry. The music and the stage production was truly mesmerizing. When the musical came to an end, I started bawling my eyes out. It was that beautiful to me it was that beautiful to me to fall in love with art all over again. And I just felt like sharing that with you because it was truly beautiful for me to fall in love with art all over again. And I need to get back into practicing. I haven't been practicing in a while because I've been dealing with this pandemic as everyone has, and it's kind of, shattering my spirits a little, but I just have to push through. And I think that everyone needs to push through. And one day this virus will be over and we'll have a chance of a normal life again. And when that day comes, I will be so happy. And just wanted to share that. Alright guys, have a good day. Stay safe out there. Practice social distancing. And see you guys on the next video. Peace.